we're going to start now with the networking session. So good morning to all of you. Actuarios por México welcome you to this networking session with an incredible actuary, Ms. V. Le. I invite all of you to feel comfortable and turn on your cameras. If you have a question, please raise your hand or write it on the chat. We're going to divide the session in 4 sections about the actuary B, about the actuarial profession and its evolution, pieces of advice for the college experience, and finally, about the credentials and other requirements needed to be an actuary in Canada and the US. Ms. V, thank you so much for your presence in this space today and for giving us the opportunity to hear all the advices that, with your experience, you can give to us. We would like to start listening about you. So please tell us who is V. Le and what made you choose your career.
Thanks, Mariana. Thanks everyone for being here today and listening to me. So if I introduce myself, I would say professionally, I am an actuary. So I am a fellow of the Society of Actuaries, a fellow of the Canadian Institute of Actuaries, and I also have a Charter Enterprise Risk Analyst designation. And I have been working in a life insurance company for over 10 years now. In the past 6 years, I have been specializing in enterprise risk management area, which is also the specialized track that I pursue with the Society of Actuaries. So beside that, I am a lifelong learner because while you're on probably student, and I'm actually also studying part-time right now for my second master in computer and IT. So before that, I did have a Master of Business Administration, and I also have a CFA, so the Charter Financial Analyst. So besides studying and working, I also enjoy volunteering with different organizations, especially the SOA, the CIA, so the Canadian Institute of Actuaries, and AFC, so it's the Actual Foundation of Canada. And on of that, then I also have, I would consider myself as a creativepreneur because my husband and I, we founded a photography business specialized in wedding and portrait. And that's why my background is a lot of photography props for newborn and babies and stuff. And I also had started a YouTube channel more than a year ago to promote the actual profession, of course, because I am an actuary myself, and also other math related careers, because these days I believe like the young generation has a lot of choices in career, data science, actual science, statistics, financial economics, like software, like so many choices. So for people who love math, data, technology, so I would like people to know more about those. And personally, then I'm happily married, and I have one fur baby named Fluffy.
Okay, oh my God. Just keep telling us about you.
Oh yeah, and I guess you were asking why did I decide to become an actuary, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think a lot, like many other people, the people who decided to pursue the actual profession because they like the combinations of math and business, and that's the same for me. So math was my favorite subject back in school, so I wanted to explore options of career related to math, and I didn't know it until I actually came to Canada to when I studied abroad first. So I was from Vietnam, so I came to Canada as an international student, and then I explore the options of what people can do with a math major, because like back then I only knew that you can only become a teacher to teach math. And so I was very fascinated when I was able to find out that, oh, you can do a lot of things with a math major. But like what's appealing me the most is like the business world. So like I don't want to just like being very technical and quantitative with math. So the program I chose was a double degree with math and business. So which is like, for me, is the best of both worlds. Like it will give you a lot of opportunities and so like I would say actually fit well with that, like math and business, and that's why I decided to try the actual profession, and then finally got my corp job, and then got my get into a permanent position with a company, and then yeah, it just started since then and continue keep going.
Okay, perfect. Wow, I'm really impressed. You're so multitasking with all your projects. Wow, you're amazing. And the next question is if you have like a role model or something that inspires you to keep working, keep like in this evolution of yourself.
I would say it's my mom. Like she's amazing. So like even now, like she's still studying English to like always like do something, like always on the go, always like want to get involved in a lot of things and like improve herself. And she always told me like being busy is good, so keep you out of trouble. So so yeah, so I think my mom is definitely my role model, because I can see like she's like smart, she's like very good with lots of managing a lot of great relationship, has a lot of great friends all around the world, and then yeah, she's like have a very colorful life and always want to improve herself and stuff, and of course she loves me a lot, so that's the main thing too. Yeah.
Okay, oh, that's so cute, so cute. You are telling us that you have a YouTube channel. So can you talk more about your YouTube channel with us, and what is your favorite video, and why did you start like making these videos on YouTube?
I guess because I was bored one night. Just kidding. But yeah, I guess in Vietnam is still so I'm originally from Vietnam, and it's still a very developing market, especially the actual profession is very quite new. So I know that Vietnam just started to have the first program specialized in actual science. So I wanted to like kind of make a little bit more videos in Vietnamese to promote the actual profession to the Vietnamese community. But why I started doing that, I realized that, okay, a lot of other people and students around the world don't really have an idea much about what the actual profession is about. So I can see that like, okay, yeah, like it's not just serving the actual like the community in Vietnam for my home country, but it's also for all of aspiring actuaries or like all of the students around the world. So I started to kind of interview different people from different countries, like different actual professionals around the world. So like from India, from Malaysia, from US, and so on. So hopefully like people get to know more about the actual profession, so they can make an informed choice. So I'm not telling you guys to pursue the profession, but I'm telling you guys to like research more about a profession, seeing like, is this something that for you? And also what other path, alternative path that you can pursue as well. And that's also a portion of my channel, is talking about other options that some people like math can do, like statistic or data scientists or data analysts and stuff. So I'm interviewing a lot of different people in different fields, as well as like sharing my own career advices or studying tips, because I'm still studying, and I think I study been studying for like years and years, past many different professional exams. So I'm hoping that people who want to pursue professional exams, they can get something from that and help with their journey, right? Because like to become an actuary, studying is a big part of your life. So yeah. And other than that, I also want to just like have lifestyle video or like saving day in my life and stuff. So those are actually my favorite videos, because it's like kind of helping me preserve my memories, like with my families or with my dog, so that like later on, years after, I can look back to it. So I think more motivate more motivations for me to keep going. But yeah, so like I'm hoping, so it's like the YouTube channel, so a little bit is for myself to like kind of preserving my memories, but also a big part is like I'm hoping that it can a lot of students can know about it to help them with their career planning, because career is gonna be a major factor in your life, how happy you are with your life and stuff. A big part is come from what you do at work and your career. So I'm hoping that can help everyone having a better, more informed choices in your career planning.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing like this YouTube channel. I was telling you minutes ago that it was so helpful for me watching your videos, and I asked Fernando if he can send the link of her YouTube channel in the chat so the participants can watch like the channel. And personally, I have a question. You have a YouTube video that's called When It Feels Like Too Much, and hearing you like you are so multitask and with a lot of projects, what can you say about that to us? How can we handle pressure, and when do we know how or when to stop? For example, I want to work, I want to be Actuarios por México, plus Students Council, plus university. When to know when to stop, or how can we handle like this pressure?
Well, practical, in reality, I guess it's like we are human. So we live in a society and community, and we do get the different pressure by other people, by seeing our friends, our families and stuff, right? So of course the best is like, for me, it's like a discipline for myself, that not trying to compare myself with everyone, because that's what my mom taught me when I was young too. Like, okay, don't compare yourself with others, compare yourself with your own ability, your previous performance to see. Because like if you compare to others, you can always find people that are better than you, but then you can always find people that you're better than them. And the better here is a definition of your own choice, right? People value different things. So maybe you think, oh, success is this, but other people's success is different. So I think it comes down to a lot with like your own self-management, your own mindset. That for me is about really the long run. Even if I'm working for 10 plus years now, I still have another 30 years to go. And that's happen, like that's for a lot of people. You're gonna have 30, 40 years of professional experiences, and even after retirement, you still may want to do a little bit too, right? So it's like overall, the longevity these days, the life expectancy is just getting better and better. You have more time. So when you face failure or you handle too much, just think of the long run. Do you have to like do everything now if it's too much pressure and stuff, right? You can pace things out. Think about the long run. It's never like really too late to try something and do something. And I think for me, the main thing is just trying to improve a little bit over the month, over the years, because then you're gonna accumulate the experiences, and you're gonna continue to improve a little bit. As long as you be a better of yourself over the time, that's already like a very excellent thing. So I think it's like knowing your long-term priorities, long-term planning, right? So I think of it is everything is a long run. Is even if you do very excellent now, how much room you're gonna have left if you still have like so many more years to go, right? So the people can start slow at the beginning, but if they prepare well, they can always like do a sprint and finish it up quickly at the end. So it's different strategy for different people. Different people have different way of doing things that would be best for them. So I think it's always like knowing yourself, think long run, and for current self-management, it's just all about like planning and yeah, like different tactics to help you to manage yourself and stuff. But again, like not comparing yourself to others, so that like just looking at your own for your own wellness and stuff is, I think, like the main thing. Hope that helps. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Really good advice. Now we are going to pass through the next section that it's going to be about the actuarial profession and its evolution. I want to remind to the audience that you can turn on your cameras, you can raise your hand to ask questions to Actuary V, and you can feel comfortable. This is more like a relaxed conversation. So if you have questions, please do it. We want to start with the first questions. That is, in 2021, what would be your definition of an actuary? And how much has this definition has changed since you start in this industry?
Actually, my definition of an actuary has not changed since I started knowing about it, the profession even now, because the definition that resonated the most to me, and what made this appealing to me, is that somebody back then, when I read about the actual profession, they say that an actuary is a mathematician in the business world. So we like a wizard in predicting things and stuff. And I think it's still true at this point. We're still mathematicians in the business world. And instead of maybe having a crystal ball into like, oh, what will be the event gonna happen in the next year and stuff, then we're using different applications of math, of financial, or statistic, and everything in order to do it. So it's still true right now. It's just maybe back then, if certain people would associate it more actuaries with just working in the insurance industry. So now we can see that we are able to expand out more, that the actuaries can work in many different industry and not just the insurance, and not just in traditional areas like valuations or pricing either. We can be in merger and acquisition, we can be in risk management, in internal audit, in marketing. So it's just like where we work and how we can add value to solve business problems now have been expanded more. But yeah, overall for me, it's like still the same thing. We're still like mathematicians in the business world.
Okay, perfect. And for all these sections of Actuary, what is your favorite?
The different sections of
like it's insurance, it's risk management, and there is like financial section. So what is your favorite and why?
So I personally chose the track of corporate finance and enterprise risk management for my FSA track for the Society of Actuaries, because like definitely I'm not interested in the traditional areas of predicting life expectancy because for me it's a little bit depressing. Sometimes if you have to think about mortality risk or morbidity risk on the tab, not that I don't deal with it now, but I'm just saying like just the idea of it is not that appealing for me. So initially, that's why I did my business and math degree together with the finance concentration and actuarial science as major. So that's why like the whole risk management, corporate finance, that area is like more appealing to me, because I believe you can see, you can have a bigger picture when you work in that area, because in order to provide oversight, you need to be able to have a good knowledge of many different things, but you don't need to have like specialized knowledge of one particular area. So for me, it's more like a consultant role specialized in risk. So for me, that's why I'm still in the risk management field area at this point, and maybe it's gonna still be for a few more years in the future.
Okay, perfect, perfect. The next question is, what are the main characteristics of evolution in the actuarial profession, and which direction this process is currently taking?
I would say our profession has been, like, if we're looking at like how it has started, it's like started in the 1800s. So it's been over 100 years already for this profession. And the big characteristic of the evolution of actual profession is that we continue to evolve and try to be relevant to risk management. At the end of the day, it's all about managing uncertainty, providing a solution in order to manage the uncertainty, especially related to financial risk. So I would say that the directions of the evolution is like continue to like make us more well-rounded, to not just be technical, like not just know the technical knowledge or industry knowledge, but it's also about building up like building up other soft skill as well. That's the focus of the Society of Actuaries with the competencies framework, because like these days, when you have better technologies that you can leverage the technologies, so then what we can add in it is like our own judgment, our ability to turn data into insight. So, and then we continue to like, it's trying to like sell the skill set of the actuary to many different industries. Like Tesla has actuaries, Amazon has actuary, Uber has actuary. Like these days, with so many changes in the environment, there is even more risk overall. So that will be like the continued the evolution of the actuarial profession to make us more and more, I think, more transferable, developing like more transferable knowledge and skill set to make it more mainstream, I guess. So that maybe 10 years down the road, when you ask somebody, when somebody asks us, oh, what profession are you? Like, I'm an actuary. They don't say like, oh, what is that? But they will be able to answer, okay, actuary, yeah, okay, I know that. Yeah, so hopefully that will be the way it goes.
Okay, perfect, perfect. And it's a lot of truth what you say about like, I'm an actuary, and all people are like, what? And here in Mexico, it's really frequent that, what are you doing? So we have a next questions. It's from Rodrigo, and it says, hi Dee, nice to hear your memories. I have a question. After this global problem, like a pandemic, do you think companies value more the presence of an actuary?
Well, pandemic risk is something that we, like the actuary, like in my work, in my actual own work, we already included the pandemic risk, the consideration for pandemic risk. Like that's one of the catastrophe event. And looking at the extreme event, like 1 in 100 or 1 in 200 and stuff. So I would not say that because of the pandemic, the actual profession is more value, because like they hire us for this reason, to manage these extreme events, like adverse events. So it just this gonna happen every year. You're gonna have a 1 in 10 event, or you're gonna have an adverse event every single year, but it just maybe around different kind of risk. So it's actually, this is just like, I think it's just part of a normal, well, it's well, pandemic is not a normal thing, but I'm saying that like dealing with like extreme events or adverse events related to financial risk, especially insurance industry, that this is a normal part of our work. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And we have the last question for this section. And is, what is your perspective about the current status of the labor market for the actuaries, and what challenges is it proposing for the new participants?
So I would say that the actual profession is competitive, quite competitive, especially for the entry level markets. And so this is from my experience in working in Canada, and then was like a student studying in Canada, and then like stay here and work and stuff. So because we still have nowadays more people know about the profession, more people interested in going in and studying actuarial science. So you have a lot of actuarial students. In Canada, you have like 20, 30 different universities that are offering actuarial science program. So you're talking about thousands and thousands of students. But how many positions are they actually open? Because for life insurance company in Canada, there are only 3 main life insurance. Then the whole insurance industry, and then maybe related like consulting and some financial companies, maybe you get a couple hundreds of position every year. So for sure, there is a bigger supply than the demand for the entry level. But I would say that's the same for every other good professions. Data science, just look at it. A lot of people want to go into data science, and they don't even need to go through those exams and stuff. So it's even more supply than the demand for the entry level. So I think if it's a good career, a good profession, there will always gonna be that competition between like at the beginning. And but then like once you have the experience, once you become fully qualified, either associate or fellowship, like this profession is very gonna give you a lot of benefits and a lot of stability, a lot of certainty in job security for the profession. Like if you can last until the end, I think it's like an excellent profession, and gonna give you a lot of growth in your career, in your benefits, and in everything. So, and I would say there's still like a gap, not a gap, maybe like a little bit. They always like they always gonna look for experienced actuaries. Like it's not hard for experienced actuary to look for jobs. So, and that's gonna be the same everywhere in the world. And I think for the developing market, that is even more true. Like a qualified actuary in a developing market even will attract a lot of offers. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. We have an extra question that it's from Martin. It said, hello, B, what models do you consider to apply in the future, like Actuary?
What model to predict the, you mean like to predict the demand of the actuary?
I think if Martin can like confirm in the chat.
Or maybe we can jump to another question and come back to that.
Okay, no, Martin just have confirmed. Yes, it's what you said.
Oh, okay. For the main of the actuary, well, for me, I hope that it's at least a linear model, exponential. but any, it's really at the end of the day, it just depends on how much buffer and at what percentile that you want to make. So anything, sometimes it can be even a random walk, right? So I think it's just any model depends on your assumptions. So can we apply? And sometimes there's no one right model either. So, but for me, I hope it will be at least exponential.
Okay, perfect. It's interesting, and it was an interesting question. Thank you, Martin. We have a question from Jesus, but it's from the fourth section of the networking session. So I'm going to do that question later. We're going to pass now to the third section, that it's about pieces of advice for the college experience. So if you could go to the V when V was at college, what advice would you like to give to her?
For me, I would say that it just life is up and down. So again, if the bad things happen for a reason, good things happen for a reason as well. So it's something that we find is bad now, may not mean anything in a few years down the road. So just appreciate and enjoy any experiences that we have in life. Appreciate what we learn, and even like if it's something not good, it's still there for us to have a lesson from it, and it will be beneficial for us. The more experiences we create or we have, the more things we learn over the year. So I just say just try different things, always enjoy and appreciate whatever things happen.
Wow, that was a really good advice. The next question is, what learnings are underrated in the actuarial educational process?
I would say the soft skill, the business skills mindset, because like the actual exams, well, if you guys are writing the exam, you know they are challenging, they are difficult, right? So a lot of focus is in trying to study the material and try to pass the exam. And of course, especially the earlier exam, the focus more in terms of the calculations or the concepts, the math, those kind of things. So a lot. So then people may just think more about like, oh, if I just pass the exam, I have this knowledge, I can do well. But it doesn't work like that. When you in a professional environment, when you work, we don't look at just the theories. It's about the applications. It's about how you work in a team. It's about knowing the constraint, the resources you have, about what business problems you have to solve. So it's require a lot of different skill sets, from problem solving, analytical, and it's not black and white. It's not like, oh, 1 + 1 = 2, or if I do this, then I get this. It doesn't work like that in the business, in a professional setting. So you have to be able to make your own judgment. You have to be able to like do your own research, learn, observe things, try to come up with different solutions, and then decide on what the recommendation, and then see how things work, and then you go back and you continue and do things and continue the whole cycle again. So for me, those soft skills, right now the societal actuaries try to tackle it more with like with the study, with the, I think with the seminar, or with the FA. Yeah, I think it's the FAP. It's been too long, so I can remember the acronym for that. But like with the final workshop and stuff, so they trying to help students think more about the presentation skill, the communication skill, and those kind of things. But it's a little bit later in the actual educations and stuff. So I think like we just need to make students more aware that these skills you want to develop as soon as possible, because these are the things that you need to practice, and then you can improve. Because even if you take like 10 courses, how to improve communication, it's not going to help if you do not practice, if you do not actually speak to people or do a presentation at work or express your ideas and everything. So the more time you have, the more practice you can do, and the more improvement you can make with your skills. So I would say, like, I'm hoping that the student can recognize that, and that's a lot that is in my YouTube videos. When we're talking about career advices, I always say that, like, you need to always develop multiple different aspects, not just the technical. You need the technical, you need to pass the exam. Like that's like a must with the actual profession. But if you want to become a well-rounded actuary, you want it to be a rewarding career, you want this to have a lot of growth, you need to be able to develop your soft skills. That's going to make a difference.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Now that you're talking about soft skills, and it's like a really important topic, and for a lot of actuaries, what was the soft skill that was more difficult for you to develop, and how did you improve your soft skills?
I would say the most difficult one is communication, because like that is the one thing that even a native English speakers gonna have challenge with. So for me, of course, it's like I was an international student, so English was my second language. So first is how to be able to speak, to communicate in English effectively. So that's the first thing. But then the second thing is like, okay, now I can speak English proficiently. So how to be able to communicate effectively using English as just like it's just like your natural language. And in this sense, it's like how you convey the message, what the content, how you communicate with different level of audiences. And the more you progress, the audiences that you're gonna communicate to gonna continue to change. If you want to progress to higher senior leaders and stuff, so you always have to continue to improve your communication skill, because it's not like, unless you just stick with like the same role, the same level of jobs and stuff, then you speak to the same audiences, then okay, sure, after a while you're gonna perfect it. But if you want your career to be growing, then you're gonna face different audiences, and the more they're gonna become non-actuaries or non-technical. So you need to be able to communicate to them, in an effective way. So for me, communications skill is definitely the one thing I'm still trying to work on. And actually, that's also why I'm doing my YouTube channel, to improve my communication as well. So we see.
Well, B, you're doing really well, really good at communication, and I am watching your YouTube channels really, really good. And I repeat to the audience that you can visit B's YouTube channel. Their videos are really good, and she has a lot of advices for college, for careers, for soft skills, and she talks about a little bit of data science and actuary, and why actuary and data science. So it's very interesting. So I invite you to check again the YouTube channel. And now we're going to proceed to the final section of this networking section, and it's about requirements, credentials, and experience for an actuary in Canada and the US. And we have the first question from Jesus Eita. Hi, Jesus. And he said, "Hi, V. how would you compare the US versus the Canadian actuarial job market in terms of competitiveness and supply and demand of roles?
Okay, so I have only been working in Canada. So what I heard about the US market is just really through talking to people. So this is just my 2 cents. May not be correct, but from what I heard is that the entry level the career entry level for in Canada is more competitive in the US. And a lot of the students here will finish 4 or 5 or 6 different exams already by the time we graduate from the university. I know that because I'm from University of Waterloo, and our students are quite studious, I guess, in terms of completing actual exams. But I don't know why I say they should spend more time developing that soft skill rather than just writing the exams. So, and we have like a lot of our university has co-op programs. So co-op is like where you can gain working experience while you are still a student in the university. So because of that, like if the people already passing the exam, they have the working experiences from like those co-op. So those students, it will be easier for them to find jobs, right? But then, so like it means that other students who are not in the actual science program, who do not get the co-op experience, it will be a little bit harder to get into the career entry level market. But then for the US, I don't think from what I heard, there's no just one university that like dominate, and the number of exams that the student pass is not as high like that. So it's like the career entry level, you will have more opportunities in terms of supply too, because like the US market way much bigger than the Canadian market. Again, as I mentioned, there was like a lot of consolidation, and they're like we probably will be able to tell like which companies hire the actual students in Canada. But like the US, like it's just a much bigger market, so you're gonna have many more opportunities in the US. But in terms of experience level, so again, I think either way, in either Canada or the US for experience actuaries, you will be able to find something for sure. So it just depends on how picky you are in terms of finding your ideal roles. But yeah, I think the job security for qualified actuaries is still like one of the best one out there. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We have the next question from Javier Cruz. He says, "Hi, V, I like finances and I want to work in a foreign country like Canada or USA. Do you think that SOA exams could help me to get a job in the financial sector?"
Okay, so if you like to work in the financial industry, I don't think you need to be an actuary, because like in the financial industry, they have a lot of different areas. And so it's like if you study business and you focus in maybe like in finance, you can get jobs in like financial analyst, for example. Or like if you like statistics, you can become like quantitative analyst. Like, and even like technology, like people like to like computer science and IT. Yeah, like these days, I think a lot like the technology changes disrupt financial industry a lot. So there are there's a high demand for IT jobs everywhere, especially for the financial institution. So I would say if you want to get into the finance sector, going for actuary profession is probably not your best choice. And I think it's always better to like kind of look to see what kind of posting that like different financial institutions in Canada or US post to see like where are the demand is. And then, so it's like depend on what you like, right? What subjects you like, and then what like strength you have, because you want to be an attractive candidate when you apply for it. So if your goal is, okay, working in a foreign country, you want to research what is the best way, what are the different options for that. And then it's really about merging your own strength, your own interest to the demand of the country that you want to look for, and in the finance sector for that. And it may be that getting a job, a lot of them involve networking as well. Maybe you need to study for 1 year just so that you can leverage the network or the career service of the school in either US or Canada. So I think overall, I think you want to know like your own goals of like what do you want from this? Is it the experience? Is it the job? Is it the money? Is it the education? Is it the career? Like what is it? And then just tailor accordingly.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now that we are talking about the SOA exams, there has been like recent changes that were made to SOA exams. And what is your opinion about those changes?
I think as a volunteer with the Society of Actuaries, I know how much work and effort on actuaries, current actuaries put into like the changes in the educations or what we provide from the Society of Actuaries. So just from that on, I would support whatever decision that the SOA make, because it's mostly run by volunteers and on the current actuaries, and we want the best for the profession. So, but like personally about like just the education pathway changes, I think it's a very positive change. Like the actual science is a multidisciplinary subject. It has always been involved a lot of different other subjects like math, statistics, finance, economic and stuff. So the whole data analytics is a natural thing. It's just a natural things of, and actually they make it more fancy name now, which is like data science and stuff. But technically it's just like analyzing data, which the actuaries already been doing for years and years and years and years. So in that sense, like now they just more formalize it to ensure that we more like we keep up to date with the knowledge, with the trends and everything, and to also get that name recognition, so that people know what we actually can offer. Because if you make it very mystery and you're trying to do something that nobody understand that, oh, what Cadence actually offers, it doesn't work in the real life. The companies need to know what actuaries can do. So for me, it's just like these changes are just helping to make the actual profession more mainstream, more relevant to the changes have been happening.
Wow, thank you very much. I'm impressed that you are also in SOA's organization. And we have another question. What were your motivations when deciding to complete the pathway to get certifications like the CFA or the CERA?
Okay, so the CERA is just a natural thing. If you go for the the CFE, so the corporate finance and enterprise risk management track with the FSA, you're gonna get the CERA automatically. So I think and back then I think it was the first year when I started introduce it. So when I when I went through those exam and stuff, it just makes sense to get it together. And for the CFA, so I have always been interested more in like the finance side, but I don't want to be so technical and quantitative. That's why I didn't choose the QFE, like I think the quantitative finance investment track of the SOA. So for me, the CFA is a little bit less quantitative in that sense, but it's also very highly recognized in the industry. And if you work in financial institution or insurance industry or financial industry, right, a lot of people, especially investment area, are gonna have CFA. So it's gonna give you a lot of opportunities, and it's easier if you have the same qualification. You can speak to them in like on the same level. It's just easier. So I think it's like give more opportunities, and yeah, I mean, I guess I wanted to continue to study, so I guess I just did it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Knowing that we have a lot like options of exams and certifications, what mainly the audience are students, what exam or certification do you recommend that we can start with? Like, okay, I'm going to do my first exam or my first certification. Which one do you recommend that I need to start with? Like
Okay.
the SOA or?
Yeah. So I think if you research enough, like I think at first, like you want to do a little bit research about a profession first, like any of the profession that you want to go into, either like actual science or data science or quantitative or anything, or software development and stuff. You want to do the research first to see like what is the profession is about, and maybe listen to connect with people in the field to get an idea. And if you see that maybe you're interested in it, then for the actual profession specifically, I think you ideally, if you can just get one preliminary exam done. So I think either probability or financial mathematics. So those are the first two exams, so that you can say like, okay, can I still like, are these topics kind of interesting for me, or can I actually study and overcome all of these, right? So if you pass one exam, it's kind of show to the recruiters that you are serious about this profession. And then, of course, they will look for your other experiences or extracurricular activities, how you communicate in the interview and stuff in order to get it. So it's like, for me, it's always like, if the main thing is like you want to be able to break into the field, to try it out. That's the best thing, right? So if you get an opportunity to be an intern or be a co-op student or like part-time job, like even maybe not be directly in the role, but maybe in a relevant company that will give you the opportunity to know more about the work. That's always the best. Like for me, like the credential is really just so that like it can help you to break into the field, right? So you want to do the research. Would you need to get a credential now in order to break into the field, or can you still break into the field without it for the actual profession? So that I can say directly, one exam is good enough just to get started. But then for others, so I think data science is I think it's more about practical coding, programming, statistics. So like those things you can go through courses, but again, like it's the whole package when you're actually applying for a job, right? So you have to see like what you need in order to improve yourself, in order to make yourself an attractive candidate, and you working along on that, and not just thinking about like, oh, if I get a credential, I'm gonna get it. No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay, perfect. We are running out of time now. But before finishing, is there an ending message you want to give to us?
Okay, I guess my message is that just experience things, just try different things. The more you experience, the more you try, the more you're gonna know yourself. Self-awareness is very important. Like, I think it's key in order for you to improve and have a happier life. Because if you don't know yourself, you don't know what makes you happy and stuff. How, like, then you just like throwing dark in the dark, right? You wouldn't know, okay, I'm just gonna do random things and hoping that that's gonna make me happy. If you know yourself better, then you can increase the chance of doing things that can help your life to become happier and stuff. So I think just in general, just like take risks to try different things, to know yourself, and just continue and keep going and appreciate what you have.
Oh my God, thank you so much. That was such an inspirational message. We have a last question, I'm sorry, from Israel Rodriguez. So
Thank
you
you,
have the word.
Hi, B. I have a question. What's your biggest challenge when you start working?
My biggest challenge, well, in general, I would say it's just like the challenge of continue to study and work at the same time. So it's just like how you want to balance this, because at the end of the day, you want to pass the exam. Like, once you're already in the field, you want to pass the exams, but you also want to be able to do well at work. So it's just like a very strong discipline that you need in order to distinguish, okay, I need to study in order to pass. And then work time, okay, I just focus in work and to do well at work. So it's like a very long journey of just study, working. And sometimes it's also mean that you don't want to sacrifice your personal life too much, but you do have to sacrifice some of your personal life. Right? So just like what is a good balance to make sure that when you have to focus in studying and when you're like, okay, I'm taking a break, so that like I can just keeping my relationship and stuff. And of course, like from that, like having a great support system would be extremely helpful. On that journey.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for this networking session, Ms. B. You are such an inspirational actuary. I'm impressed about all the things you are involved in and all the projects you have. And I'm sure that you won a lot of new fans, including me, and new subscribers. And thank you so much for giving the messages that we need to hear as actuaries. Well, this networking session has ended, and we would like to thank Actuary B through this recognition.
Yeah, thanks everyone for having me, and yeah, thanks Mariana for asking lots of great questions, and continue to provide advertisement to my channel.
No, thank you, Actuary B, and we invite all the audience to keep following the activities that Actuarios por México is constantly preparing for you, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and also subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here today in Saturday, and we hope you have a great weekend. And thank you, V. You're such an inspirational actuary. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for having me. Okay, have a great day, everyone.
You too, V. Thank you so much.